Hey y'all, it's Jenny Mosley.
And Dr. Ryan Reeves.
And we are here live with the Elevate Effect. It's time to take the dental field to a whole nother level. Fly with me, folks. Let's get real and let's get uncomfortable. Okay, good morning, y'all. How are you doing?
Is it morning?
It could be.
Could be.
Well, here's the thing. What do you consider morning?
Depends where you live.
Really?
Well,
You mean live like with kids or live?
I mean, is 1 a.m. morning or is that?
Some people consider that.
Yeah.
I would say for me, morning is 4 a.m. What's you?
Yeah, that is early morning.
So I'm starving by 9 or 10.
Oh, gosh. That's early.
Anyway, good morning, everybody, to whatever your morning is. Right, Reeves?
Yeah, perfect.
So, hey, let me give you a little quote to start this day. So, successful people do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Jim Rohn, I don't know if anyone knows him, but we always kind of follow people. R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn. Anyway, he said that. And, I think that we're going through a really weird time in dentistry, especially complex dentistry. I feel like corporate world is somewhat trying to take over, and the special stuff is seeming to be a little bit more difficult, and people don't want to put in the effort, which I don't blame them. But I was really proud of this past couple weeks because one of a really, really, really close, I don't have many friends, but I would say a dental person in my life has decided to retire. And I'm proud because I feel like I was helpful in that journey. Because it became that, it's weird. What do we say sometimes? People come to work here. And sometimes having a job here allows for people to really find their true dream and goal in life. And it's most of the times not even dentistry.
Yeah.
Or they come to our seminars and they leave and they're like, oh, wow, I want to do something else. So this search for being a very unique dental practice, getting away from the insurance and everything, made him see that he can't stand the dental world. It was the most incredible thing to be a part of. I've been keeping it quiet just because, I'm seeing that same thing too, as we talked about before, like trying to build other businesses because, I only see dentistry one way. So if it's not going to stay around, I better take whatever I got and take it somewhere else. But it was really, really neat to watch him go through this. It really was. And so that's a hard thing. I mean, you spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of your energy to do something really unique. And when you try to then do it and you recognize that it's almost impossible if you don't have the cocktail at your feet all day, every day, then it makes you realize that it literally was in these words. I realized that I was just working to death, basically. I'm just going to work just to die. And it was incredible. So I'm proud of what we represent. I'm proud of the legacy, and it is nothing to do with the dentistry because you guys can do the dentistry all day. It's the legacy of how we practice every day. And it's not easy. As people say, put your money where your mouth is. We really do. And it's hard. And you recognize that you get frustrated with your own profession. And so we kind of wanted to chat about that today because I feel like there's a lot of people that are probably struggling with this right now. I mean, since COVID, the world has changed, corporate's taken over, nobody wants to work. And, the unique level is becoming a little bit too hard and too much effort. So it's just easier for some to just give up, go back. And like you said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. And so hopefully today we can motivate those that are maybe in a slump or feeling the way that either you get out of your slump and you say, you know what, I'm going to go do something different, or we help you just get out of the slump. But I hope to gosh that you don't decide to stay in the slump and go backwards and just go to easier after today.
Well, I think just making a decision is important, right? It doesn't matter which way it is, just a decision.
Make a decision.
I mean, move towards something.
Move towards something. Don't just move.
Right. I mean, so we live by the water, right? And that's how you can drown really easily in current and heavy current. And maybe that's how some of these people feel. They're trying to swim back to the um, shore, the bank, whatever, and they're swimming against the current, and they're just absolutely exhausted. And you can either keep swimming and drown of exhaustion. You can let the current take you and then take you to the bank and then walk your way back. Um, or you can just drown right there, I guess.
See, you just gave us your gift. See? It's beautiful. That was wonderful. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but it's just a matter of you and me anyway. It is so true. It is so true. We went to a really cool place. I mean, it's just a very unique place. You probably take the kids. It's called Folly Beach, South Carolina. Never been there before, but it's being from South Florida and spending a lot of time in the Keys, and now being near Tybee, which is like a obnoxious baby Keys. This little town was like a little surf town. They had surf contests going, and, it's unbelievable how you analyze a wave. And you can see waves and you can go, why aren't everybody surfing? Well, there's just so much about how a wave breaks and how you choose to get on it and when you should get on it and when you should get up. And it just motivated, I just got chills. It just motivated me all weekend, because I feel like that's, that's the effort it takes to do this type of practice, to know when the break is right. And it just, because there's a bunch of waves out there, it does not mean you're going to surf or you're going to boogie board or you're going to do anything, because you could get on it and it's like, and so that's really interesting that you brought that up, because I truly thought about it all weekend. I mean, there's millions of times you and I want to, like, I mean, we've gotten in the car and driven around and flicked each other off in the windows and then came back. But we want to give up a lot too. But, giving up truly deep down, is it easier? Is it really easier?
Well, you just create a different hard
It's
for
a different
yourself.
heart.
So just you got to pick your hard.
You do.
What's that look?
Just a moment of silence.
Okay.
So, can we talk a little bit about what for you is, between it being easier or you being better? What for you in having this kind of place distinguishes the difference of those two things?
I see it a little differently. I see it as if you become better, then it becomes easier. So I don't know. That's how I see
Say
it.
it again.
If you become better, then it will be easier.
Right. So let's talk about better, though,
Right.
because there's so many people. I was on the phone with a dentist this morning from Michigan, and again, the level of dentistry you guys are doing, is you're already good. It's the struggle is everything else.
Yeah.
It's team members, getting them motivated. It's keeping them here. It's, practicing every day what you say you're going to do in marketing, whatever it is. It's all those things that are hard. And plus, you want also your own life. So you want balance of travel and family and fun. I mean, there's just tons of things to put forth. So for you, what's becoming better? Becoming better at what?
Well, I thought we were talking about the dental practice.
I know
Okay.
I'm giving specifics for people,
Um,
because again, the dentistry is already something you guys work on.
yeah.
So to me, the successful people do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. And those things are deciding to be better at the things that you wish were, it's like, again, what are being a part of this place?
Yeah.
What are some of those things that, there's dentists sitting down right now saying to themselves, this sucks. Like, they think they're letting down a bunch of patients by maybe taking away insurance. They think they're hurting people's feelings. I mean, you've had friends that have said, "Hey, you're a dentist. Can I come see you?" We've had to turn them away. All those examples, these folks need to hear about that. It's not easy, but in the long run, it was better for you, for them, for everybody. So they need to hear it from you.
Well, there's just so many ways to go with this.
Pick one.
Well, just kind of grand scale, a lot of the things we don't want to do will really make us better. It's the easy things that aren't good for us. By good for us, I mean the right choice is typically the hard choice.
What if someone says, "Well, insurance is hard"?
Yeah, that it is. That's absolutely true. I guess I've just always seen it as, and this is not a new thing, but just a relationship between you and the patient, not between you and the insurance company. And it's just, if you have an insurance based practice, that always seems to be the most important thing. I mean, that's what it always comes back to. I mean, they'll listen to you talk, they'll engage you, patient will engage you in conversation about treatment and about possibilities and about where their mouth is headed. But ultimately, what most of them say is, well, I'm going to let some clerk behind a desk decide what's best for my mouth, which is completely ridiculous. But that's kind of what's happening, right?
Right. So it's almost as though, is it really hard? Because here's the thing, who's making I mean, the effort of physical effort to file and call and all of that, that's hard.
Yeah.
But is it hard to let somebody else make the decision? It's actually it really in turn easier.
Yeah, well, it's a way for the patient to take an easy way out, if you will. It's easier financially, it's easier physically, because they're not having, maybe they're just working on a couple teeth or something, as opposed to really addressing the overlying or underlying problem, which is fixing that is always going to be more expensive, both price wise, but also time wise for them. And unless you've done the right amount of deepening of concerns in their eyes, the value won't be there for them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like a lot of people are going through a really rough mental time,
Yeah.
and it's becoming for them easier to go backwards.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, we just had a meeting. We haven't, July for everybody, I'm sure, as well, is also a vacation time with people just
Yeah.
travel, kids, and everything. This summer is difficult anyway. And so, getting our meetings back together and talking about marketing and all this kind of stuff. And, it's so much easier. Like after we met, I'm going, oh my gosh, in the moment, it's so much easier to go, God, you know what? I don't want to talk about it. Like, and then all of a sudden, yesterday I was like, you know what? Avoiding it makes it worse. Not that you and I avoided it, but it's
Yeah.
like being in front of it is just, it's uncomfortable, but man alive, does it pay off?
Well, some people might be saying, well, I'd rather work hard sitting in my dental chair working on a patient than not being in the chair working hard to get the patient where you want them, to get the practice that you need in order to attract the patients that you want, who want the services that you can provide. So again, I think it just goes back to, where do you want to put your energy? I mean, obviously you have to sit in the chair, but are you sitting in the chair once for lots of production, or working on one person for a set amount of time? Or are you seeing five people in that same amount of time that somebody else is maybe just seeing one person? Um, I mean, seeing that many people in a chair is more exhausting, I think, than working on the practice or working on developing relationships with people, or working with you to craft um, an experience that provides enough value for somebody to pay us what they pay us.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to me. I mean, I can't imagine even being able to wrap my head around knowing a person if I have to see 20 a day. How do you even get to know them?
You don't.
So, it's like I guess then just goes back to hence why some of us get so bitter towards the profession alone, because we are in charge of such an important part of their body. We are in charge of such an important part of their sanity, of pain. There's just a lot, and to not, it's just, yeah, it's very, very, very weird to me. It just seems so much harder to try to fit all of that in. And so, you look at like employees, for example, when you're trying to find an employee to work in a place like a custom type unique practice, for them the effort is so different because it's mental effort versus physical effort. Yet when they come in and they're in the interview, and I'm sure you all can attest to this, the interview, they're saying, you're tired. It doesn't feel organized. You feel overworked. You don't know what to do. You're there to do it. And it's like, okay, well, we got a different concept here. When you're tired here, you're mentally tired. But, you get administrative time, you get time. I mean, and it's just, it's very difficult to understand, okay, now you've had both, you hate both, which is it? And I think that's the struggle, is people can't find the team members to stay. So you get into this protective thing where it's like, okay, well, this is just too hard for them. Let's go back. And so, it's sad. So I hope that you can find a comfortable balance that either allows for you to say, what I'm doing, I'm okay with, or like you said earlier, like make a decision, be proud of the decision, and accept the decision. But when you try to go forward and you just don't push back, I mean, we've had some really great, to me, but I guess, I mean, what you and I think doesn't matter. But I feel like we've had some great conversations to really get into the psyche of people in this profession. And one of them was, I mean, we have sometimes that sense of a revolving door as well. And we've worked so hard to change around the people. And that doesn't work either, So it's like, but again, why go backwards?
Sometimes it would be nice to have like an email or a voicemail of somebody out there kind of answering that, right? Because
Yeah,
we're just screaming it into the internet, right?
yeah. I mean, it would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it would help because anyway.
It would help. Like, okay, so I've got a team, and let's just play. We'll play together here, And over the years, working with them, not working with them, working with them, and it's like once they want something so bad, this doctor wants something so bad, but just can't seem to push past that hard. I mean, when it gets to it, it's like quit, go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And going so far backwards into accepting insurance again and being in that race. And, what for you keeps you from going backwards?
Sorry, I'm thinking, trying to come up with a really, obviously the answer is going to be honest, but something that's maybe resonates with other people.
Well, while Reeves is thinking, I'm just kind of give you a sense, to me, when we are seeing patients and we're preparing for them, we have an entire day that we prepare administratively to do our best that day. And most of that preparation is not the dental piece. Most of the preparation is the conversation we want to have with them, and are there special services that we're going to provide for them? Do they have all their appointments scheduled and reserved? Do they understand the medications they need to be on? Is there a driver bringing them? How are they feeling? Are they making progress? And part of that as well is if we're doing dental stuff, then we prepare any kind of claim, we print out films, we get everything prepared before, so that then when they're here, we can actually have that visit that we talked about before, of a Michael Jordan. We utilize the preparation as the championship game, so that then when you're in there, it should go. I mean, you're going to have obviously hiccups, but the patient is going to have an experience of winning. And so for me, how do you provide all that within a insurance based nightmare?
All right. So my answers, as usual, is not a simple answer. So I've got kind of three parts to it, and
Great.
you can stop me at any point.
Thank you for the welcome into the stopping you.
Yeah, of course. One thing, just very simply, is just that it's that kind of faster paced model. That's what I'll call it. Is just not rewarding for me. So it's just not equal. I mean, I would have to make so much more money, and even that, the money is great, but money only does so much for you. And I would rather make less and work the way we work than sit in the chair more hours a day, see more patients. I mean, I don't even know. I'd maybe have to make 5 times more to do that model. That would be enough, maybe. And I don't think for me that would be sustainable. I think I could maybe do that for maybe 3 years, maybe not that long, and then I think I would implode.
And you're being very kind.
What do you mean?
I don't think 3 years, really. I see you imploding way sooner than that, doll.
Yeah, I again,
So
I'm
let me ask you
saying
this. So
maybe.
you know a lot of dentists, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like a lot of them are like you? Do they want that?
Do they? I'm sorry. Do they want?
Do they have the same feeling like you and just don't have the answers? Or do you know dentists that are okay with the model that you would implode in? All right, guys. Well, lots of information we went over. That was the end of part 1. Stay tuned. We got a whole nother section of part 2 coming next week.